excitement. It's so much excitement that there was no reason for me to put something in our drink.
Was he off pause while you was slamming his shorty?
He had his shirt off and he was sitting with his pants on. He had his hands in his pants playing with his
Wow. When y'all was together talking about you and Jane Doe, did it seem like she didn't want to be there at any particular time, or did it seem like she was enjoying herself?
It seemed like she was enjoying herself to me.
I'm telling you, I ain't got no time for no more games. Where my life is at right now, I don't have no time for no games, baby girl. Me and you could be mad, I can have a spat, we can have whatever. Then after that, you better get on your job.
So she states they go in there and she would transfer the substance from her body to, quote, usually on his chest, on his nipples.
What the damn? You sick.
FITTY claimed to have seen a video that CamRon leaked showing Diddy and Daphne Joy, Diddy's baby mama, rubbing bodily fluids all over themselves. According to US Weekly, Diddy is now requesting sole custody of his and Daphne's son because Daphne recently acknowledged that she is still employed by Diddy, which basically means that Diddy is now supporting Diddy's son. However, it turns out that CamRon didn't just leak this information. Instead, he got CamRon to interview these male escorts, and he released the footage as part of a larger scheme to expose Daphne. Rico, one of the escorts who spoke to CamRon, claims that Daphne wasn't coerced into freak-offs. Rather, she actually enjoyed doing it.
At the same time, and it didn't seem like she was uncomfortable or felt forced at all to me.
Right. Did she orgasm?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seemed like she wanted to be there.
As you are aware, CamRon's decision to interview all of these escorts was obviously a calculated attempt to damage Daphne's reputation. However, if you were already convinced that the male escort situation was bad, wait until you see what else Daphne was involved with. He's a billionaire ex-boyfriend, who also happens to be a convicted criminal. Now, let's talk about Daphne's troubled history of dating predators, this clip of her and Diddy that CamRon leaked, and how 50 Cent intends to use all of this to save his son and obtain sole custody.
Right. And he pulls his phone out as I'm dancing for it, and I'm like, don't record me.
He really trying to make a movie for real.
Okay, in case you missed it, CamRon has been interviewing all of Diddy's male escorts and asking them outrageous questions that you won't hear on CNN. The most recent person he spoke with was Rico, an escort who had freak-offs with Diddy and 50 Cent's baby mama, Daphne Joy. Rico claims that Diddy personally oversaw the freak-offs between him and Daphne, and that things got so out of hand that there was baby oil all over the placenta.
So we went in, and she was like, let me pick the 3 songs. She picked 3 songs she wanted to play.
Right.
And that's when I'm wondering why the towels. I was like, what's all the towels for? And she was like, you gonna see. So I started dancing, and she picks up the baby oil, and he's like instructing her what to say, what to do, and telling her to say certain stuff, and she kind of just following his lead. And as I'm dancing, I take my shirt off, and she starts to pour baby oil on me, and he's telling her put the baby oil down, just sit back, right. Kind of instructing her as I'm dancing.
Right.
Rico claimed that in the middle of it all, Diddy tried to join the freak-off session. However, Rico shut it down and told Diddy he's not into that.
Yeah, I walk in the living room and there was towels laying on the couch and the floor, and I'm like, all right, this is interesting. You know what I'm saying? What's going on?
Right.
He's like, yeah, come sit in the back so I can tell you what's up.
Right.
And then we go to the little balcony or whatever, and he's just asking me about my career and how long I've been with the agency and what I do.
Right.
And we were in there for 20 minutes, and he was talking about he likes porn, and he's at a point in his career where he likes to curate and make his own porn. And then he started bragging. He was like, I got a girl in there, sexy, you gonna love her. And he pulls his phone out as I'm dancing for it, and I'm like, don't record me.
He really trying to make a movie for real. You made it clear to him because, just for our audience, you're not gay. And you made it clear to him that you didn't want to be touched by him at all, to where you're also an MMA fighter, for what I'm understanding, and you showed him 2 of your fights to let him know, don't play with me. Is that correct?
Yeah. It wasn't not me showing him that exactly for that reason, but he was curious about what I did, so I showed him the videos. And then she asked me, she was like, are you cool with doing the threesome? And I was like, no, I'm not cool with that.
See, that wasn't the most bizarre part, though, because Rico says he didn't allow Diddy to touch him. However, after he finished with Daphne, Diddy asked her to wipe the material off her body and rub it on him. This isn't just a rumor, though. Court documents actually demonstrate that Diddy enjoyed having fluids from male escorts rubbed on him. In fact, according to this court transcript from Cassie's testimony, Diddy would instruct her to follow him to another room, where she would rub the material on Diddy's chest, as the New York Post reported. Cassie stated, "Sometimes Sean and the escort would have intercourse with me. It was just like a lot happening at once." At what point, the prosecutor then inquired, would escorts? Usually it was okay for them per Sean, but usually when they did it on me, and then Sean and I would go into the next room, and he would want me to put it on his body, Cassie replied. This is exactly what Daphne Joy did after that freak off with Rico, from Rico's description. It sounds like Diddy wanted these escorts to do things to him, but since some of these guys weren't down to get involved with Diddy directly, Diddy would take things to a whole new level. As for Daphne Rico, she made it clear that she was enjoying the entire situation, laughing and joking around, and at no point did it seem like she was coerced into doing either.
When y'all was together talking about you and Jane Doe, did it seem like she didn't want to be there at any particular time, or did it seem like she was enjoying herself?
It seemed like she was enjoying herself to me. Like, we was joked out, laughing, chilling at the same time, and it didn't seem like she was uncomfortable or felt forced at all to me.
Right. Did she orgasm?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it seemed like she wanted to be there. She did, what? Not to get too deep. Did she squirt? Is she a squirter? Okay.
Now, if you thought CamRon was being messy, just for the sake of being messy, here's what's actually happening. CamRon and FY are now cool, and Fiddy wanted Cam to ask the escorts all these crazy questions about Daphne, because he's determined to get sole custody of his and Daphne's 12-year-old son, Sire. Fiddy actually stated this in a statement to the Daily Mail, saying that the disturbing allegations in the sworn pleadings recently filed in a court case related to Daphne Joy have required me to take all necessary legal actions to protect my son, Sire. However, you already know that Fiddy wasn't going to stop at these formal statements. He has been trolling Daphne nonstop on Instagram, most recently for Father's Day. Oh, it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. Lil B, I'll have full custody soon, Lil B. He wrote in the caption of several AI-generated pictures of himself, "You'll be back on OnlyFans soon, Lil B. But how is your day going? Lil B, of course." This isn't the first time that Fibby has publicly criticized Daphne for being one of Diddy's freak-off workers. The feud began in March 2024 when Daphne's name was included in Rodney Lil Rod Jones's lawsuit against Diddy, in which Lil Rod claimed that Daphne was receiving monthly payments from Diddy for her freak-off work. The lawsuit reads, Young Miami Jade and Daphne Joy were paid a monthly fee to work as Mr. Combs' sex workers and received payment from Robin Greenhill by wire transfer, which detailed the defendant's continuous illicit activity. People magazine claims that Daphne quickly denied everything and even threatened to sue Lil Rod for defamation. "Everything is a joke to you until our safety is compromised, which is happening now. You are wreaking real havoc and frenzy," Daphne wrote in a second Instagram post that she later deleted. The first one said, "I am deeply hurt by the lies in Rodney Jones's lawsuit. The claim that I am a sex worker is 100% false and a character assassination. I am retaining an attorney to explore all legal remedies against both Rodney and his attorney." How would you feel if Syra was the one in handcuffs and their lives were in turmoil? This is a story twist, but it's for nothing. In addition to removing these posts and never pursuing legal action against Lord, Daphne was eventually subpoenaed by the federal government and gave a Jane Doe testimony. Earlier this month, according to Complex, Daphne acknowledged that she was one of Diddy's freak-off employees and disclosed that Diddy continues to cover her rent. What's even more bizarre is the court transcript from Daphne's testimony, in which she acknowledges that Diddy is paying for the attorney she is representing. Daphne testified that she signed a love contract with Diddy in 2023, and Diddy agreed to give her a $10,000 monthly allowance for 2 years. While she provides evidence against him, apparently, Diddy hired a lawyer for her after a federal agent left a business card at her house after Homeland Security raided Diddy's mansions last year. When asked if she still had the same lawyer today, Jane Doe, also known as Daphne Joy, replied that she did. Sean, to recap, Diddy is still funding Daphne's lifestyle by paying for her rent and legal counsel, and she now has custody of both herself and 50 Cent's son Sire. However, if Fiddy gets his way, that will soon change, and he will get full custody of Sire after recently. Fiddy sparked rumors regarding the custody dispute once more by sharing a picture of himself, and Sire offering WTF was a caption he wrote after giving someone a side-eye. And this came soon after Daphne acknowledged that she still receives checks from Diddy. However, this isn't the only reason Fiddy is requesting full custody of Sire. An even more unsettling aspect of Daphne's past has recently come to light, and people are saying that 50 Cent needs to take his son from Daphne as soon as possible. As you are all likely aware, Daphne has been the target of industry gossip and labeled a gold digger for years, according to Distractify. Daphne has been connected to Tyrese Gibson, Jason Derulo, and other celebrities. But it was recently revealed that she also briefly dated fashion entrepreneur and convicted predator Peter Nygard, who is presently, according to the BBC, Nygard assaulted for women in Toronto, Canada between the late 1980s and 2005. He was sentenced to 11 years in prison in September 2021. This was also recently reported by DJ Academics, who responded to a video of Jason Lee discussing how women in Hollywood are paid to do naughty things for these wealthy predators. Scholars questioned why 50 Cent had ever gotten involved with Daphne after she dated Peter Nygard. But sources close to 50 claim he only recently learned about Nygard, which makes sense given that there were no online images of the two, and she never discussed their relationship in public.
So, if you guys don't know, Peter Nygard is a fashion designer who essentially was convicted for having an African ring. What he would do, he would get these young aspiring models. He had a lot of wealth, a lot of access, and also he was a gatekeeper to modeling for these young women. He would get them sometimes, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, underage. He would bring them to other countries and essentially, okay? He would have private jets. It's kind of very similar to Jeffrey Epstein in a way. And apparently they're saying that Daphne Joy, who's 50 Cent baby mama, is linked to him, which, by the way, this would be before 50 dated her. I'm actually surprised why 50 would even date Daphne if she was linked to this guy, but
it seems that 50 only learned about Daphne and Nygard a few months ago, after Nygard was found guilty. And that connection, along with all the bad things Daphne did with Diddy and his male escorts, is the reason why 50 is now determined to take his son away from Daphne and get sole custody. However, some fans are arguing that 50 is solely to blame because, even if he was unaware of Daphne and Peter Nygard, he knew she was already connected to several rappers. So the fact that he was so careless as to get her pregnant isn't a good look.